Welcome everyone to our next in our series of looking at leadership within the recruitment sector. We are living in truly extraordinary times, whether it's global conflict, net zero imperatives, inflation, supply chain, labor shortages. All of these factors are making for great uncertainty, and corporate clients and hirers are looking for the best possible advice in how to traverse this marketplace, particularly with labor shortages. And therefore, the recruitment industry sits in a privileged position to help the economy and help people who are looking for work, whether it's contingent workers or permanent staff. It's always important to hear from people who are at the coalface, who are helping clients across the sectors. And therefore, I'm privileged to be able to invite and welcome Pete Cheshire, Operations Director, one of the senior leaders at award-winning Meridian Business Support. Pete, thanks so much for giving us your time today.
No problem. Pleasure, Suhail. Good to be here.
It's great to see you. And recruitment, as we know, is a sector which has got people from a variety of different backgrounds, and not one in the past that normally people would have as a high priority, although more and more people are now looking at it as a career which offers tremendous opportunity, which we'll come back to. But just be intrigued opening up just to see your own journey. I think despite your youthful looks, I think it's nearly 20, I think I'm right in saying it's 20 years now since you began this journey in recruitment. So tell us a little bit about that. And I know you've been with Meridian now for nigh on 15 years. It'd be interesting to see about a little bit about your journey.
No, that's fine, Suhail. So my journey in recruitment started in 2002, and most people in recruitment sort of say they somehow fell into recruitment. I think it was a little bit different for me. I had a very good mentor. After I'd studied at university, I went into a large retail chain, and my manager at the time had previously worked for a recruitment company, and he put me in touch with him and said, "Look, I think you'd be suited to this type of industry. You're sort of passionate, motivated, fast-paced." So I went for an interview in 2002 with my former company, and it started from there. Joined as a trainee. Within 6 months, I made my way up to consultant level, and in 18 months after that, became a senior consultant. Absolutely love the industry, the people industry, the getting out there, seeing clients, seeing the temporary and the permanent workers, just brilliant. And then from there, the career progressed through into sort of branch management, and obviously joined Meridian, where I went through the sort of regional process and up to Operations Director, just reporting straight into the CEO, Derek Skelton, who's been absolutely fantastic as a CEO for this company.
No, fantastic. No, thank you for that. I think it just shows again the meritocratic nature of the recruitment sector. Whatever your background, you began as a trainee, and you've worked your way through of that. And Meridian, which of course is an award-winning national organization, and Derek, a well-known CEO. I think it's a fabulous thing to show people about what the industry can offer. Now, during those 20 years, you've seen, we haven't got time to cover everything. We've seen the financial crisis, we've seen Brexit, we've seen enormous differences, social media, digital platforms. Just very briefly, we're in a transition phase. The REC jobs report with KPMG only a few weeks ago highlighted that there is some softening in hiring. We've got all these inflationary pressures. What are you seeing in the labour market? What the big changes that you've seen in those 20 years, but particularly over the last 2 or 3 years that you're seeing? Because you deal with and consult with some very senior and well-known business names across the sectors in which you work.
No, absolutely. I think that I think in terms of the supply of agency labour, both be temp and perm, actually is increased the demand, as certainly the impact of Brexit has reduced the flow of the EU workforce, that's for sure. And then I suppose you throw it on top of that a coronavirus pandemic, and all of a sudden I think it creates some challenges for everybody. So I think the pandemic on top of that has then also reduced the flow of the borders shut of the EU workforce. But I think there's been another dynamic where we've seen the more mature workforce, some through furlough, have reevaluated their lives and the quality of lives and thought, actually, rather than do another 5 or 10 years till retirement, can I work a program out that allows me to retire a bit earlier and have that quality of life? I think the other angle from that as well is that, unfortunately, from the pandemic, we've seen a lot of people who have struggled health-wise and are now on long-term sick. So that's not just the physical aspect, but as only you're too well aware, the mental well-being and the impact of that sort of furlough period and lockdown and staying at home has given people some mental health issues, which is why the wellness is so important. So again, relating to that report that you just mentioned, half a million people are short in the labour market at the moment, and so what we've seen is that yes, there's a temporary market still exists, and people always need temps, but what's been really interesting is there's been a real shift from what was a traditional warehousing sort of blue collar need for a temp to perm, where they could take a candidate and assess them for 12 weeks and give them a permanent job. Is that's the bit that no longer is tending to exist. So we're seeing that there's been a transition from, if you want a long-term permanent employee, it's a straight perm opportunity now. So just to flesh that out a little bit, over the last 4 months, my part of the sector for Meridian has placed over 220 straight permanent positions into warehouse and forklift roles, which was pretty much unheard of previously. And there's a number of reasons for this as well. So at the moment, with the labour shortage, that brings a competitive change. The salaries are driving up. There's a well-being aspect that companies are offering now. Everybody's after the best opportunity. So with no real temp labour being available for temp to perms, it's not an option. They're going down the permanent route, and actually the permanent route is attracting that person that wouldn't normally apply. So if you've been in a role for 2, 5, 6 years, you wouldn't normally apply for what's more of a risky temp to perm that could end after 10, 11 weeks if it's not suitable. Whereas a direct permanent role with enhanced salaries now that are being paid across the board, and a lot of different perks and packages, is becoming the way to recruit. Just recently, last week, we started a program actually with a retail brand label, designer brand label, recruiting 60 warehouse staff for them. And in the first 3 days of recruiting, we've put 40 offers out, and 20 accepted. So we should in the 3 weeks have those completed for them.
That's extraordinary. I mean, it aided the innovation, as you say. The temp to perm was quite well established as a pathway, but now the challenges and the shortages to be able to do the numbers that you've delivered has been an extraordinarily busy 4 months. So I know that's continuing. I wanted to touch very briefly, because I think you've been one of the key innovators and leaders, because I think hirers and corporate clients now need a solution which is not just about providing the labour, but providing the support for the labour, because I think it was one of your big ideas to drive the support for workers with your clients in terms of their wellness piece. That was something that I think that's gone down and very well with clients, and it's something that you're passionate about.
Yeah, so I think with the support of yourself, the wellness webinars and seminars that have been positioned to some of the clients have really helped our retention piece with clients as well for the workers. The feedback once they've been on those has been tremendous, and the ideas that you propose to people to help them, deal and cater with those issues that may come from what's now everyday life but a different life has been absolutely beneficial and transformational for them. So it's been fantastic.
That's great. And in terms of clients that you're working with, the sectors that you're working with, is there some general advice that you can give? Because I know you're working with senior decision makers across the sector as they face now what's continuing to be an uncertain role. How can they reach you? What would be your advice in terms of, as an employer, what you've got to look for and what you've got to look for in a partner that can help you support to meet this challenge of labour shortages?
But I think there's a couple of key components, but I think that there's a total understanding of the market. It's a total partnership. We don't just go and deliver labour. We need to partner with the client to deliver the labour that's required and what they want. It's not all about pay. Pay is significant. You can see from the latest reports that pay is on the increase, and sort of increasing at the most rapid rate in probably 30 years. But it's the other parts of the business as well. What's the career progression? Career progression is up there now, and one of the top 3 reasons for people for moving, along with pay. So I think once you have that understanding, then becomes part of the process. So to find these numbers in volume and the good quality people, it isn't a traditional model of just getting the candidates, sending the CVs, waiting for interview dates, waiting for decisions. what's been absolutely fundamentally key to this process and making it work is that the process of the National Recruitment Centre that we brought into Meridian as a component sort of 4 or 5 years ago has now evolved to be able to deliver this permanent process very, very slick and quick. So that's not just something that we implement. It needs the client to be able to handle that and align their process as well. But you need to operate at pace to be able to offer these people pretty much within 24 hours to 48 hours to attract the candidate after a successful interview. But you need to have a structure that can deliver it slick, efficiently, and quickly. And that's the difference that we found when placing these people. The 220 odd recent placements we've been made haven't been spread over a 4-month period. They've been delivered for different clients in sort of 2, 3, 4 week periods. It's been a game changer.
No, it sounds like as you say, you need to have the right partner with the depth of knowledge and who can offer that whole process. And obviously, Meridian is a business I've known for a long time, respected, and one of the largest and fastest growing. And that's the final point, if I may, just to wrap up. Amidst uncertainty, economically, inflationary pressures, etc., I know the business that you run and lead is growing rapidly. And in terms of career progression, you're a shining example yourself. You're definitely looking to hire. What can people expect in terms of joining Meridian, joining your team as a career and the opportunity that it provides?
Well, I think first and foremost, they're becoming into a business that values them. But it's not just about what we can extract from an employee. It's about what we can give to them. We're a family first business. We work hard. We work passionately. We look after people, and we like to do a very, very solid job for the clients. Delivery is everything for us. I think testament to that really is that there's 15 managers that I work with directly, and we've got an average length of service of 8.5 years. And for this type of business, it's absolutely phenomenal. So I think people enjoy working for Meridian, enjoy working for the senior leadership team, and work together as one. It's fantastic.
No, thank you for that. I think that's a powerful statistic in terms of longevity. I mean, you yourself, I think, approaching 15 years at Meridian. So it's interesting to see that the career progression and longevity is there and welcomed within the business. So thank you very much for your time. It's always a pleasure to share time with you. And I hope when we come back to the next round of this series, when we look at what's been happening, perhaps in 6 months' time, you'll be able to share your insights at that time.
Yeah, brilliant. Been great to talk to you. Cheers, Suhail.
Likewise, and thank you once again.